There's an issue with Mars that can't be solved through science or any other means. It is said that Mars is a lifeless planet where life is not naturally possible. Scientists have found ways to keep humans alive there using technology. But perhaps the silent red planet has its own plans, far beyond human hope. A deadly phenomenon exists here that once took the life of NASA's Opportunity rover. Welcome back to ZimVoice Videos. Before we discuss this particular issue of Mars, we must understand why we are putting everything on the line for a barren planet 210 million kilometers away. Scientists believe that Earth's natural resources are slowly running out. Glaciers are melting, rivers are drying, and living near the equator is becoming harder with each passing day. Estimates suggest that by the year 2100, even if we manage to control the greenhouse effect, a large portion of the world's glaciers will have melted. This will make fresh water extremely rare. But beyond that, if any catastrophe were to hit our planet, like a deadly pandemic, a global nuclear war, or a massive asteroid impact, there might be no options left to preserve human civilization. Just as the dinosaurs vanished from Earth, humanity could face the same fate. To avoid such a day, we've been searching for a second home for years. This second home won't be on Earth, but on Mars. We humans plan to build a colony on Mars, and maybe, just maybe, we'll succeed in making that dream a reality. Scientists have chosen Mars for this mission because it shares many features with Earth. For instance, a day on Mars, known as a sol, lasts about 24.6 hours, only 36 minutes longer than an Earth day. Mars also has seasons like Earth: summer, winter, autumn, and spring. But these seasons are longer because Mars has a longer year. Like Earth, Mars shows traces of ancient rivers, lakes, and ice. Mars has poles too, north and south, both covered with ice. Mountains, valleys, deserts, and volcanoes, all features we see on Earth, also exist on Mars. In fact, the largest volcano in our solar system is on Mars, known as Olympus Mons. And finally, even though it's weak, Mars does have gravity and a thin atmosphere. These characteristics made Mars a candidate for colonization. However, it's still not Earth. For example, while frozen water has been discovered, it doesn't flow in rivers that can simply be tapped into. Extracting this ice from the soil and making it usable will require specialized equipment. Another essential element for humans is oxygen, which makes up about 20% of Earth's atmosphere. On Mars, oxygen is only 0.13%, while 99.87% is carbon dioxide. Advanced systems will be needed to produce breathable air. Also, Mars is extremely cold. Even during the day, temperatures can drop to -6 degrees Celsius, and it gets even colder at night. Humans will need protective suits and heat shelters. And even if everything else is in place, you still can't move around freely. Mars lacks a strong magnetic field to protect against the sun's dangerous radiation. Without protection, this radiation can lead to diseases like cancer. To deal with all these challenges, the scientific community has been working for years. For example, NASA's MOXIE project is focused on generating oxygen from Mars's carbon dioxide-rich atmosphere. It compresses and heats the gas to extract oxygen. This process requires electricity, which will be generated using solar panels. To survive the cold, scientists are designing inflatable habitats and underground bases, possibly in deserts or beneath Martian hills. For radiation, they suggest using Martian soil to build bunkers, or wearing specially designed, heavy shielded suits. Some propose using Martian caves as shelters. Water on Mars also has a possible solution. Since ice is present beneath the surface, NASA and the European Space Agency are developing drilling and heating technologies to extract it. This water will be used for drinking, farming, and even oxygen production. We've now addressed solutions for oxygen, water, radiation, and cold. But the last essential factor to sustain a human colony is food. The idea of controlled environment agriculture is already in place. Sealed greenhouses where air, water, and light are all artificially managed. These experiments have already been successfully tested in Antarctica and the International Space Station. But there is still one major problem on Mars, one that we haven't found a solution for yet. That issue is the Martian dust storms. Mars might look quiet and lifeless in photos. Its red deserts, scattered rocks, and the eerie whistle of wind create a still, haunting image. But if you watch closely, you'll see something rising on the horizon. A terrifying wall. It's a storm, and not an ordinary dust storm. Caused by the sublimation of dry ice, solid carbon dioxide, turning directly into gas. This reaction creates powerful winds that give birth to Mars's most dangerous storms. These storms don't just cover a city or a continent, they can engulf the entire planet. Such superstorms occur approximately every 3 years. The dust is so thick that sunlight doesn't reach the surface for months. This becomes a huge threat to human technology. Solar panels, communication systems, everything can fail. If humans are to build a colony on Mars, we'll have to face these storms. But the issue is, we still don't fully understand their cause. We have some idea, but we've never even managed to stop storms on Earth. So how could we on Mars? Mars wasn't always like this. Once, it may have been lush and full of life. It had a thick atmosphere and flowing water. But over billions of years, Mars dried out and lost its atmosphere into space. Today, Mars's atmosphere is just 1% the density of Earth's, almost non-existent. But dust storms don't happen just because Mars is dry. Scientists believe the real culprit is temperature. A thick atmosphere traps heat and maintains a balanced temperature. But on Mars, due to the thin atmosphere, temperatures can vary dramatically. While your feet may feel 23 degrees Celsius during the day, your head might be freezing cold. This temperature contrast creates strong winds, and winds lead to storms. On Earth, storms carry clouds. On Mars, they carry dust. Once the dust rises, Mars's low gravity prevents it from settling quickly, so a dust layer can stay suspended for months. During a storm, wind speeds can reach up to 160 kilometers per h. On Earth, that's enough to tear off rooftops and uproot trees. But on Mars, these winds aren't the main danger. They don't carry as much force because of the thin atmosphere. In fact, a 100 kilometers per h Martian wind is as weak as a 10 kilometers per h wind on Earth. The real threat is blocked sunlight. All our proposed solutions for human life on Mars rely heavily on solar power. If sunlight is blocked for months, life support systems could fail. On January 24, 2004, NASA's Opportunity rover landed on Mars. Though its mission was only supposed to last 90 days, it operated for 15 years, conducting various experiments. But one day, it encountered a massive dust storm. In 2018, NASA realized how dangerous these storms could be. Sunlight reaching the rover dropped by 96%. Its solar panels couldn't charge the battery anymore. Photos from Opportunity showed just how dense the dust was. Sunlight vanished over the course of 30 days. After a few months, Opportunity entered deep sleep mode. NASA tried for months to re-establish contact, but received no response. A year later, the final message from Opportunity came through. "My battery is low and it's getting dark." After that, it was never heard from again. We hope you'll like and share this video from Zim Voice. Thank you for your heartfelt comments and support. See you in the next epic video.